Coming up tonight, more on the Freeport Health Campus construction from the nation's leader. Plus, the education minister. Coming up tonight, more on the Freeport Health Campus construction from the nation's leader. Plus, the education minister provides an update on the status of schools across the island. And the hunt is on for a man wanted by police in Bimini in connection with murder. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Azure Quant. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news this evening, as the new school year approaches, the Minister of Education is providing a much-needed update on the status of schools across the island. During the press conference for the 2024 BJC and BGCSE exam results on Friday morning, she reveals that Holmes Rock Junior School will not be able to welcome students for the upcoming term. However, she assured that work is progressing and the school is expected to open soon.
It is a Ministry of Works project, and we are the client waiting for its completion. I am told, and I think I've said this before, it will not be open in September, but I know the Minister of Works has mobilized the contractors, and they should be on site, and we believe that very soon that school will be completed.
Additionally, following Hurricane Dorian, East Grand Bahama residents have been eagerly anticipating the reopening of schools in that area, which will ease their long commutes to Freeport. While the Minister of Education also sharing the positive news that McLeanstown Junior School will reopen and welcome students this year.
We met last night with teachers and with parents virtually, and they were very excited. The McLeanstown School will open in East Grand Bahama, which was devastated by Dorian, from September.
For more information on the 2024 BJC and BGCSE results, tune into the National Report following this newscast. Well, the Department of Inland Revenue has announced the back-to-school VAT holiday starting Sunday, August 18th and running through September 14th, 2024. During this period, value-added tax will be removed from a range of essential items for children. Qualifying tax-free items include personal computers, accessories, and tablets priced under $3,000. Basic school supplies such as pens, pencils, notebooks, rulers, and calculators will also be tax-free. Clothing items including uniform or fabric for uniforms priced under $100 per unit, undergarments under $60 per unit, and footwear under $200 per unit are included. Additionally, bags such as pencil cases, school and gym bags, and beverage holders under $150 per unit are eligible. Hair accessories priced at $30 or less per unit are also a part of the VAT-free holiday. Well, in other news, the nation's leader underscoring the strategic location of the new healthcare facility on Grand Bahama, placed outside the flood zone as part of the government's efforts to ensure a more sustainable future for the island's healthcare infrastructure while creating a state-of-the-art facility for the Northern Bahamas. More details in this report.
I'm taking on headache now to ensure that there'll be no headache down the road.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis pushing forward with his vision of a more sustainable future for the Bahamas, underscored by the construction of the new health campus on Grand Bahama.
I'm not just building for now, I'm building for the future. And so governments coming after me or who take over after me wouldn't have this problem.
Addressing the Freeport Health Campus's development, Prime Minister Davis emphasizes that this facility is part of his administration's broader efforts to enhance the country's resilience and sustainability.
Because of the existential threat that we face every day with the changing weather patterns, we built this to ensure that we are also adapting to those future catastrophic events.
In 2019, Grand Bahama and Abaco were devastated by the worst storm in the nation's history. In light of this and other catastrophic events, The nation's leader assures that the new health campus is being constructed outside the island's flood zone, a deliberate decision to protect the facility from future climate-related events.
As you know, Grand Bahama is a low-lying island. In fact, the whole Bahamas is low-lying. And so we found the highest point above sea level on the island to build this to avoid any catastrophe from flooding. Where this being built, I'm advised, is 21 feet above sea level, which allows for prevention from flooding.
As the first phase of this major project takes shape, Prime Minister Davis highlights the significance not just for Grand Bahama, but for the entire nation.
Bahamians deserve the best. We are one of the most wonderful people in the world, and we ought to be enjoying the things that are wonderful to us in this world. And we're not going to shortchange any Bahamian wherever they are living.
Meanwhile, Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, has outlined future plans for the Rand Memorial Hospital as the construction of the new health campus in Freeport progresses. Dr. Darville assuring residents that the Rand Memorial Hospital will remain a vital part of Grand Bahama's healthcare system.
The whole aim for the construction of a new state-of-the-art facility is we want to downgrade the Rand Memorial Hospital, as it's rarely known, into a secondary facility where we provide more geriatric care and psychiatric care. But with that being said, we have 3 very good new state-of-the-art surgical centers. We will use them as outpatient surgical procedures, while this will be our major focus for tertiary healthcare services for Grand Bahama, for Abaco, and Bimini.
In other news, a number of women entrepreneurs from across the northern Bahamas awarded nearly $250,000 from the Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center. 19 women from Grand Bahama received over $98,000, while 20 other women across 8 other islands are receiving over $136,000. SBDC's executive director disclosing that this particular year was focused on empowering and equipping women-owned businesses. Yolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
Currently in the second year of a 3-year initiative, the Small Business Development Center hosting their 2024 Women Entrepreneurs Initiative, granting women in the Northern Islands an opportunity to grow their business financially and strategically. The organization held a forum in New Providence celebrating 83 women across the country, including 19 in Freeport and 2 in Abaco. Executive Director Samantha Rule expressing that it is important to focus on the holistic approach of female entrepreneurs.
Application process, we have where we had over 300 applications, 344 to be exact. And based on the invoices submitted across those applications, it was requesting a total of $3.5 million in grant funding.
The executive director revealed that applications were received from women across the Family Islands. However, 19 women in Grand Bahama were awarded grants totaling $98,410. Meanwhile, 2 businesswomen in Abaco received $14,628.05. Rule acknowledged the frustration of applicants who were not approved, noting that the process was highly competitive.
The application was open for about a month, and it allowed for persons to compile their information, share their vision about their organization, their company, whether it's an existing or a startup concept, making sure that they highlight, the impact on the community, what problem are they solving, how they would use the fund.
Entrepreneur and grant recipient Lisa Turnquest, owner of Captain Corn, says she was unsure if her application had been approved, but an invitation to New Providence revealed she was granted $9,800. Turnquest proudly shared that for her, the grant was less about the money and more about connecting with like-minded individuals. Her main goal is to create franchises of Captain Corn across the country.
The intent is to use the funds from the grant to really relaunch Captain Corn, put Captain Corn back out there in the Freeport market. There are lots of opportunities for that on the horizon. So I really want to posture my product properly to really partake of the volume of business that we hopefully will soon be getting on Grand Mama.
Entrepreneur and owner of the Chef Factory, Shantae Baston, sharing how she plans on maximizing on her grant.
This grant will help propel the Chef Factory to new heights, allowing us to reach more customers and achieve more long-term goals.
Roll emphasizes that the SBDC is committed to providing small businesses on the Family Islands with the attention and fairness they deserve. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Meantime, President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority is reaffirming the port's commitment to collaborating with partners that align with the island's future vision, spotlighting $2 billion in upcoming investments aimed at boosting tourism and industrial projects. Raven Davis has more.
We all have to wait and see the outcome.
Grand Bahama Port Authority President Ian Roll is reaffirming the port's dedication to forging partnerships with entities that align with the company's vision for the future. The Hawksbill Creek Agreement mandates GBPA to oversee the development, management, and infrastructure within Grand Bahama's 230 square mile port area. However, beyond that, Roll reveals that GBPA is actively pursuing innovative and exciting new initiatives.
One particular project that we're working on right now is the development of a youth center and a hurricane shelter with another major group, but I would like that group to make the announcement. But what we've been doing is meeting with a person who is well versed in youth development in South Florida, and we just came back from a trip. And now we have some new ideas, some new programming that we want to introduce to the island to help develop our young people.
In line with the goal of development, Roll also highlights the over $2 billion in investments presently in the pipeline, reflecting a surge in new tourism and industrial-related projects.
You might have heard about the Weller Development Project. That'll be over a $250 million project. Western Atlantic University, they're presently here, but they only completed phase 1, so there's a phase 2 to that. There's also a space in the downtown area, a significant space that has been dilapidated for a while, and the surrounding area has been renovated into new, exciting office space. So there'll be also development in that particular space.
He adds that the environment is favorable for many other project opportunities and shares this advice to Grand Bahamians.
I believe that we are in a turnaround season in Grand Bahama. Although many persons may not see it right now, I say prepare yourself for what is to come. Gain some knowledge in regards to unique offerings and bring them to the island.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
In news from the crime beat, police in Grand Bahama are investigating an armed robbery of a business establishment on East Mall and Ponciana Drive on Thursday, August 15, 2024. Preliminary reports indicate that around 4 p.m., 2 males armed with firearms entered and robbed the establishment of undetermined amount of cash before fleeing the scene in a white Kia Soul. Responding officers later discovered the suspect's vehicle abandoned on John Wentworth Drive. Further inspection revealed that the vehicle had been stolen during a previous robbery on Thursday, August 8, 2024. Police are actively searching for the suspects involved and urges anyone with any information about this armed robbery to contact police immediately. Furthermore, anonymous tips are also welcome through Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS, which is 328-8477. Well, tonight, police on the island of Bimini continue to search for 28-year-old Shandae Anthony Sean Brown, who is wanted in connection for murder. Brown was born in Kingston, Jamaica. However, his last known address was Baileytown, Bimini. He stands 5 feet 10 inches to 6 feet tall, weighs 170 to 180 pounds, slim built, brown complexion, light brown eyes, and wears a low haircut. Anyone spotting him, you're asked to please approach with extreme caution, as Brown is considered to be armed and extremely dangerous. You're also asked to contact the Alice Town Police Station at 347-3144, 911, 919, the Criminal Investigations Department at 352-9774 or 5, or Crime Stoppers at 328-8477. Well, a group of friends has united to give back in preparation for the upcoming school year. That story, sports, and more when we return.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians. Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Spend your weekend at Gombeland. They're open 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Follow them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. WhatsApp 816-3314 for more information. This year, 11 schools go head-to-head in the Battle of the Brains 2024. Witness the excitement as young minds compete in math, physics, chemistry, and biology. Watch this new episode of Battle of the Brains, powered by GB Power. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The second annual Star Film Institute competition will feature a new category this time around. 3 finalists have been selected for the short film category, and our Shane Stubbs sat down with one of the eager creatives who is excited about what's to come.
I was just over the moon. I was like, whoa, we're actually gonna do this thing.
He's one of the 3 finalists in the newly added short film category for Star Film Institute's annual film competition. Tyree Moss is currently working on the short film title, a dark adaptation to the famed Bahamian folklore character, the Chick Charney.
4 environmentalists come home for the annual regatta. They haven't met each other in a long time, so they're rekindling their friendship. All of a sudden, their car swerves onto the side of the road, and they're accosted by a number of cultists dressed like Chick Charneys. These cultists capture them, and they wonder, why would people who worship the Chick Charney do this to them? What is the real reason? And as they puzzle that out, they begin to realize that something is very wrong with their group.
Along with some crafty state-of-the-art special effects, Moss says competitions like this allows for creatives to showcase their talents, and this particular production will help to bring the island of Grand Bahama to life in a very cinematic way.
I sat down with my team and said, we can take this a certain level, or we can go all out. And it is my intention to go all out, to not just create something that is nice as a local short, to create something that people are going to look back from years from now and say, that was a good piece of content, .end period.
Now, while much has been made about the orange economy, Moss believes that this project can prove Grand Bahama has all the potential to be a major player in that field.
That's the sort of lighting that we're going to go for.
Moss says he has taken note of the government's commitment on that front and notes that Grand Bahama has the infrastructure to be a grand stage for the film industry. But there's one caveat.
We need to have the equipment, we need to have the talent, we need to have everything arranged. When I worked on the film Dolphin Island, the main actor, the lead actor, and the director sat down with me for dinner and said, you have something here that is beautiful, that other jurisdictions pay to have a fraction of, and it is just about building it and setting it up in the right way.
As of right now, production is well underway and is expected to use 4 key locations on the island for filming. The winners of each category are expected to be announced in the first quarter of 2025. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
The Progressive Movement Group, a group of friends hosting its 6th annual back-to-school giveaway on Friday, August 23rd at the No Holds Restaurant and Sports Bar. Organizers this year are asking residents to register on the various No Holds Restaurant and Sports Bar social media pages to receive vouchers.
About 6 years now, we have been carrying out a back-to-school event. This year, we're going to go through a different method. The method will be vouchers giveaway for uniforms and back-to-school supplies. We are trying to target about 100 students for this back-to-school voucher giveaway. The registration starts today until the 21st. On the 23rd, we'll be distributing the vouchers. We ask parents and guardians to register online or come to No Holds Bar, which is located across from the YMCA or behind KinderCare. We ask also only persons in need to apply. I noticed from previous years that it was the same families coming over and over to all the back-to-school events. So my members, or progressive members, we decided to go this route.
The social media pages include Facebook and Instagram. Registration for the back-to-school giveaway has already started and will end on Wednesday, August 21st.
The PMC crew, the Progressive Movement crew, a group of friends who decided that this year we're going to come together, we're going to pool resources and try to assist persons within the community who needs help with getting school uniforms and books and supplies.
We turn now to sports. One of our very own is making history. Shane?
Well, Aja Jonquil Jones continues to make history in the WNBA. We've got details on that plus more, so stick around. Sports is next after this break.
We all need to save. Save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop. The new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
Are you ready for a new adventure? Well, the Royal Caribbean Coco Key is looking for a senior lifeguard. Meet the team on Monday, August 19th at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the YMCA on Settlers Way.
Looking for some end of summer fun? Bring the kids ages 4 to 12 to the free end of summer movie night at Port Lacaya Marketplace this Saturday, April 17th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. The first 200 kids get pizza, popcorn, and goodie bags, prizes and surprises all night long. Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your Northern Edition Sports Check. Got some quick updates for you, so let's start with Open Water Swim. The Bernie Butler Open Water Swim is back and will feature the John Bradley 5K, the Burt Bell 1 mile, a 1.35-mile race, and half relay. Here's race coordinator Stacey McBride with the details.
The 5K it's almost like a rectangle. It's 5 laps, so each lap is 1,000 meters, and they have to complete 5 laps around. And then we set up for the traditional race, which is a straight thing, so from Lucayan Beach Hotel straight down to almost the end of Coral Beach. So that's a straight 1.35-mile swim. Then you have the mile swim, which happens somewhere in the middle of there, and the relay swim, which is a half mile. 3 people come together, they swim the half mile, which is the shortest distance, and their combined time, so the lowest combined time, is the team that wins.
And here's the thing about the 5K race, it serves as a qualifier for any major open water competition.
I want to say there's only 2 maybe in the country, and we are one of them. So we have quite a few people flying in from Nassau to swim it, and that's one of our most popular little races right there.
It's one of the longest running events, and son Robbie looks forward to keeping the tradition alive.
It was a big cultural event, and so this one started in 71, and hopefully we'll keep it going for a while.
The race kicks off next Saturday, August 24th at Coral Beach. Meanwhile, on the hardwood, Jonquil Jones and the New York Liberty back in WNBA action and picked up where they left off with a 103-68 victory over the Los Angeles Sparks. Jones put in 9 points, grabbed 5 rebounds, and dished out 4 assists on the night. But hey, guess what? She's also the 4th fastest player to reach 3,500 points while shooting better than 50% from the floor. 262 games. That's all she needed to do so. The Liberty will be back in action tomorrow afternoon when they take on the Las Vegas Aces. And lastly in sports, the Grand Bahama Basketball Association's Corporate League playoffs continue tonight at the St. George's Gymnasium. The Royal Bahamas Police Force will take on the Grand Bahama Port Authority, while Club Fortuna takes on Dolphin Experience. The action kicks off at 7 at the St. George's Gymnasium. And that'll do it for your look at sports this evening. I'm Shane Stubbs. As always, be safe, be great, and have an amazing weekend.
Thank you, Shane. And now it's time for a look at the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Stay with us. Facebook Friend of the Day is up next.
Are you ready for a new adventure? Well, the Royal Caribbean Coco Key is looking for senior lifeguard. Meet the team on Monday, August 19th at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the YMCA on Settlers Way.
During the calm before the storm.
Life-threatening storm surge and winds in the northwestern Bahamas.
2019, Creek 1 Grand Bahama, we're praying for the best.
And in the wake of the devastation. We've hosted countless shows. We've interviewed numerous individuals. We've covered every angle and shared everyone's stories.
The whole roof came off.
Now, 5 years after Hurricane Dorian, we are telling our story.
We need to move now. Let's go now.
You can see we make it out of the hurricane.
I wasn't imagining this.
I was scared. I didn't know if I was scared or coming crying.
This was a storm like no other.
Join us for a Hurricane Dorian special as we take you into the eye of the newsroom. See what we endured behind the scenes during our relentless 72-hour live coverage from before and after the deadliest storm in our nation's history.
Outside is actually flooded.
This is more than a documentary. It's our journey, a testament to our dedication and our commitment to you. Airing September 1st on the only station that kept you informed during the worst storm in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is the eye of the newsroom.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Frederica Thomas, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We wish you a special happy birthday. We hope you are enjoying. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire team here in the North, I'm Azure Quant. Have a great weekend. But don't you go anywhere just yet. The National Report is coming your way next.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Bahamians left in the dark last night as BPL scrambles to fix a malfunctioned generator, and they aren't too happy about it. Improvements seen in the national examination results. Hear what education officials say is the root cause behind it. Plus, police have yet to identify the lifeless body of a man found in waters near the Old Stuart Cove as an intense investigation is underway. And in sports, a Bahamian cricket player making history. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Everyone, I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for tuning in. Scores of residents here in the capital still recuperating tonight after being left in the dark for hours after two generators at the Bahamas Power and Light Clifton Pier Station tripped. Some residents also endured intermittent power outages at times. BPL's Senior Corporate Communications Manager Arnett Ingram revealing that it was around 9 o'clock last evening when the power outages affected eastern and western New Providence.
We lost about 45 to 50% of our customers on the island as a result of those generator trips. Although we were able to get those units back up and running fairly quickly, there was a subsequent challenge on our transmission system, that prevented us from synchronizing both power stations and getting supply fully restored to our customers. So the crews really spent most of the night isolating that fault and then manually restoring service to all of the different areas. And it was really an incremental and slow process. And by about 4 a.m. this morning, supplies were fully restored on the island.
Well, as you can imagine, the hours-long power blackout didn't sit well with residents. Some of them expressed their concerns with our intern, Jada Roll.
Residents in the capital still feeling the wrath of the recent power outage.
It's dangerous. If someone is relying on electricity to live and you don't have any systems that are very apparent in writing, follow, it can be dangerous.
Citizens voiced their opinions on Thursday night's outage in New Providence, the affected blackouts, and the dangers frequent blackouts pose to the most vulnerable customers. While Bahamas Power and Light takes accountability and apologizes for the inconvenience, the feelings of the Bahamian people are still mixed.
And I just say one night, just like how you have Africans or other rest of people in one particular place, they experience these events like weekly. We can at least sacrifice one night.
As outages are not yet a thing of the past, many Bahamians have turned to taking matters into their own hands to ensure their power stays on. Some of them have purchased home generators or turned to the installation of solar systems. But what about those who cannot afford this necessity?
My mind reflects on those who are using oxygen tank. Mm-hmm. My God, it's serious, to have them having to be, I can't even think of what's stake, because that could cause some person to get sick, could even cause death.
Despite the restoration, some customers feel it is too little, too late, and still question the reliability of the company. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Jada Roll.
Good story there, Jada. Thanks a lot. Well, the overnight power disruption does not appear to have affected the country's healthcare system. According to Health and Wellness Minister Dr. the Honorable Michael Darville, there were no reports of any disruptions at any of the country's healthcare facilities.
We are pleased to report that we didn't have any major impact as a result of the outage. And thank God, I think around 1, maybe 2 o'clock, power was reinstated. And our generators subsequently from the automation was shut down. So I don't think we had any major impact to date. I haven't really heard about anything substantial.
The government is using last night's near island-wide blackout to bolster its energy reform plans, but as our Corval Python tells us this evening, opponents are using it to make the case that the administration's plans are weak at best.
Aware and understanding that thousands of consumers across New Providence were still fuming this morning after that widespread extended power outage Thursday night into the wee hours of Friday, Energy and Transport Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis was both conciliatory and apologetic as she addressed the issue with reporters this morning.
First of all, I understand and I can relate to the level of frustration because then as the minister sitting in the seat and hearing of the challenges that we are faced with, it does bring a great concern, and that's why there's great urgency behind the work that we're doing.
Adding to what BPL said in its statement that the outage was the result of a generator malfunction at its Clifton Pier site and challenges with its transmission network preventing reconnection to its grid, the minister used the opportunity to stress the need for urgency in transforming BPL and its crumbling infrastructure.
The state of the country's infrastructure, transmission and distribution line is to the point where we are pulling and demanding a certain number of voltage of power to be generated in various homes and various businesses, but the system is trying its best to provide that, and it's very stressed and strained.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Michael Pintard sees this latest fiasco at BPL as further proof of the administration's failure in managing the utility provider and the government's overall plan for energy reform.
No, again, it is rather distressing for so many residents in the midst of this heat wave that we are experiencing, that we continue to have the complications we are having at BPL. So again, the government owes us a fulsome explanation on what the challenges are.
The Davis administration earlier this year laid out a series of reforms meant to transform the country's energy sector and greatly improve BPL's transmission and distribution network. The aim is to bring about affordable, reliable, clean energy. Today, Minister Colby-Davis assured that work toward that end is progressing well. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Python.
Still to come, the Prime Minister visiting one of his regional colleagues. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Full Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
For the past 51 years, the Bahamas has been a nation marching for progress. We are more than sunny skies and blue seas. We are a nation filled with purpose, opportunity, and innovation. With each generation, our spirit grows stronger, our dreams brighter, with our banners waving high. Join us as we continue to pass the torch, fostering freedom, progress, opportunity, and innovation for years to come. Happy Independence, Bahamas, from Commonwealth Bank.
Everybody on fried chicken, we are pre-bucket for the crow. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Crispy original when we online.
Bucket together and do the new dance craze. Taste the explosion bursting with flavor.
KFC Summer Bucket Deals. 8 pieces of fried chicken and 4 biscuits for $20. Add family fries, a 2-liter switcher, and 4 pineapple biscuits to your mega summer bucket for $30. It's finger licking good.
Girl, Chris, guess what? I just booked the tickets online.
Now, where you got us sitting? First class, business class, or plus? Preferred. You got us sitting all the way to the back of the plane in front of the bathroom, just because you want to be cheap?
The way you travel may change, but immunization is always in style. Before your trip, get your immunizations in advance, like yellow fever, hepatitis B, influenza, COVID-19, and meningitis.
A message from PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Canadian Government, the Caribbean Development Bank, and USAID.
Dr. Dakota Major, a native of Inagua, was the keynote speaker at the 2024 Senior Commencement Ceremony at the Inagua All-Age School. I caught up with Dr. Major at the grand opening of his cafe in Matthewtown, where he spoke about the many difficulties presented by attending an island school. Dr. Major then spoke about his educational pursuits after attending the Inagua All-Age School.
After leaving Inagua All-Age School, I went on to College of the Bahamas and completed my associate's there in biology and minor in chemistry. Following that, I went on to University of Nebraska at Kearney, where I double majored in chemistry and biology, and then moving on to my PhD at Michigan State University. So there I studied analytical chemistry with specialization in surface modification, material science, and upon completion of that, I moved on and became a professor at the University of Rhode Island.
After returning home from schooling and working abroad to take care of his aging parents, Dr. Dakota Major now holds the position of Brine and Engineering Capital Project Manager at the Morton Salt Company. A man with a heart for his family and his community, it is his wish that the locals would take advantage of diversifying their economy.
In all honesty, there should be 4 or 5 other companies here in Inagua that should be, feeding on the salt. The majority of these things that can be made from the salt is actually way more than the salt.
I'm Calabar for Ed Talk.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahama's Striping Group of Companies.
Some major improvements in the national examination results, and education officials say it's one step in the right direction as they seek to implement new strategies to further improve educational attainments. Here's Cleopatra Murphy.
Of 5,935 students who sat the BGCSE examinations in 2024, just 653 of that number received a C or higher in 5 or more subjects. Those figures representing 11% of the candidates compared to 2023, when 544 candidates, or 10.09%, passed with a C or above. In total, 1,009 students received a D in 5 subjects, 17% of total candidates, with Director of Education Dominique McCartney-Russell celebrating small gains during a press conference Friday.
More than 80%, or 84.26% to be exact, of the grades awarded continue to range from A to E, which is now a recurring accomplishment. This percentage is an increase when compared to the previous year and is the highest for this 5-year period.
Students sat exams in 27 subjects from 41 government schools and 66 independent or private centers, with McCartney-Russell sharing a 10.05% increase in candidates from 2023. 431 candidates scored a C or above in math, English, and science, while the Director of Education revealed both males and females improved A to D grades and decreased D to G grades. Females continue to outpace males, who she says have a higher increase in B grades.
A to D passes in BGCSE improved by 3.28%, from 68.48 to 71.76%. The A to C passes increased by 20%. A to D increased by 11.99%. Mathematics, language arts, and science improved by 7.26% of the overall candidature. This represents a 42.24% increase when compared to last year.
Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, also highlighted educational gains.
A grades increased by over 2% over a 5-year period. B grades increased by 1.5% over a 5-year period. Over 0.5% increase in C's, and decreases in D's, E's, F's, and G's. The BGCSE year-over-year, 2023 versus 2024, A to C grades increased. D to G grades decreased. Over half of the students received a grade of A to C.
She says the results show a promising spark education officials intend to build on, demonstrate officials are mitigating the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic learning loss, and are poising students for success. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Meantime, the Bahamas Junior Certificate results are also seeing an improvement this year, with 10,745 students sitting the examinations from 63 government schools and 74 private schools or independent centers. 1,388 students scored a C or above in 5 or more subjects, representing 12.92% of the overall candidates. Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, on the improvements.
Over a 5-year span, there was nearly a 2% increase in A's, a 1% increase in B's, relative stability in C's, and decreases in D's, E's, F's, G's, and U's. There was a 2.5% increase in A to C grades. Year over year, 2024 was very comparable to 2023. For males, there is a year-over-year increase in percentages for A and B grades, and a slight increase in C and D grades.
Vision 2040 is the country's roadmap for a national development plan. It represents a bold and inclusive approach to development, positioning the Bahamas as a model of sustainable growth and resilience. Today, key stakeholders representing both government and the private sector took part in an Interdevelopment Bank-sponsored relaunch where they participated in panel discussions and sessions geared around national development, exchanging ideas and recommendations that will be shared later. IDB's country representative Daniela Carrera Marquez says the organization is committed to supporting the government's efforts in achieving Vision 2040.
Before the... This is 11 seconds. Stand by. Sustainable Bahamas.
The plan also has bipartisan support from Economic Affairs Minister, Senator the Honorable Michael Alquitas, and opposition leader Michael Pintard, who asserts the country's national development plan is bigger than political differences.
Before the implementation of this law, a lot of the administrative function of the Parliament was being handled by the Cabinet Office.
Meantime, the University of the Bahamas' Government and Public Policy Institute and IDB Group will produce a repertoire report on the findings and recommendations discussed today. The report will be submitted to the National Development Plan Secretariat for consideration. A landmark move for parliamentary democracy here in the Bahamas. The House of Assembly and the Senate will now be managed under the new Parliamentary Service Commission that started in July with the passage of the Parliamentary Service Act. The commission, which comprises of 14 members of Parliament and chaired by Speaker of the House, the Honorable Patricia DeVoe, held its first meeting this week. Its secretary is Chief Clerk of Parliament David Forbes, who explains the new autonomous move.
Before the implementation of this law, a lot of the administrative function of the Parliament was being handled by the Cabinet Office. All of the financial controls was filtered through the Cabinet Office. And of course, they would not have been able to see things the way we see it, and they won't see it from a perspective of the legislature. The legislature has a completely different perch from that of the executive. You see things differently, and your needs and your requirements are very different from the executive branch of the government.
Now, the commission will also have responsibility for operating its own administrative and financial affairs.
our administration would be under a commission. You have the, like for example, when you're hiring or disciplining a public servant, a civil servant, that will be done through the Public Service Commission. The Parliamentary Service Commission now, which has been formed as a result of this act, will now have that type of control over the institution of the Parliament. So basically, we wouldn't be doing anything through the Cabinet Office as it pertains to the administration of the institution or the funding of the institution. When you need to employ somebody, the Commission will decide whether that person is to be employed or the position needs to be filled. That will be done by the Commission. It will not be done by the Cabinet or the Public Service Commission anymore. That's not going to happen anymore for us.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis arrived in Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic, yesterday afternoon to attend today's swearing-in of the country's president, Luis Rodolfo Abinina, following his re-election to a second term. Prime Minister Davis joins his colleagues from Suriname, Guyana, and Belize. The nation's chief maintains the relationship between the Bahamas and the Dominican Republic is an important one, with trade, investment, and tourism continuing to increase. Now, the Prime Minister returns home tomorrow morning. Chargé d'Affaires at the Bahamas Embassy in Haiti, Commander Julian Smith and Foreign Affairs Director General Jerusha Ali, along with their team, met with representatives of other nations on the ground in Haiti earlier this week, among them the American diplomatic team led by U.S. Ambassador to Haiti, His Excellency Janice Hankins, to discuss the security on the ground in Haiti and multinational security support missions, operations, and resource mobilization. Other issues addressed included irregular migration, consular matters, and the resumption of flights between Port-au-Prince and Nassau. Talks with Japan's diplomatic group involved expressing gratitude for assisting with the evacuation of Bahamian diplomats in March, as well as reassuring the Bahamas' bilateral relationship and our mutual support. The diplomats from Argentina and Chile commended the Bahamas for being the only CARICOM mission in Port-au-Prince, while Canadian diplomats discussed CARICOM's Eminent Persons Group and the ongoing situation in Haiti. We still have more news to come, but Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports. Amo?
Coming up in sports, a Bahamian cricket player making history, and the UB Mingo set to kick off their soccer season. Details of those stories and more coming up in sports.
If you see news in the making, call ZNS News at 502-3800 or email us at znsnews@gmail.com.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra.
What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's going to be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
Make this year your best year yet. Education is the key to success, and the University of the West Indies Global Campus Bahamas is your partner in success. Take a course that increases your value in a matter of weeks, or get that degree you've been dreaming of with convenient online learning. Visit us at global.uwi.edu/Bahamas, call 323-6593, or WhatsApp 456-6687 today.
Blessings gonna find me here.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Over a decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
We here at Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
News from the courts in an interim injunction handed down by the Supreme Court today. Philip and Brenda Mae Mitchell and Stan Bahamas were ordered to restrain from libelous, defamatory, and inflammatory remarks, untrue statements about and from pestering, threatening, harassing, and molesting two officers of the court and their families. The prohibited forms and modes of communication and platforms include publishing via the internet, email, flyers, newspapers, signs, radio, television, or other means. No materials, documents, photographs, or other items belonging to the officers of the courts, their employees, affiliates, or family members are to be published or communicated by the defendants and Stan Bahamas. If the defendants defy or disobey the court order, they may be held in contempt of court and liable to be imprisoned or fined. The same goes for any other person who knows of this order and helps or permits the defendants breach the order's terms. This court ruling comes in the wake of a sustained campaign of attacks on the reputation, credibility, and integrity of the country's judiciary and its officers. The United Kingdom-based investigators were expected to arrive here in the capital this past Wednesday, August 14th, to probe the case of former Criminal Investigation Department head, Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, on recent allegations of corruption. However, National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, told reporters today that once the probe gets underway, he expects no stone to be left unturned. But he admits, though, there's no telling why the British officials aren't in country as yet.
Who would know? I'm not involved in the operational side of it. This is a matter that's being driven by the Security and Intelligence Branch. I leave investigations to the police. I leave the oversight of it to the partners they have chosen. SIB is very thorough in their investigations. The partners selected are very thorough. I would expect that they will investigate every single aspect that bears on the matter that they're investigating.
Now to a follow-up to this story, police have not yet confirmed the identity of that man found with a gunshot wound to the body and tied to the hands and feet submerged in waters near the Old Stewart's Cove near Albany on Thursday. Police are awaiting a next of kin to positively identify the victim's body. Now, according to Assistant Police Commissioner responsible for crimes, Roberto Goodman, the man is believed to be in his early 20s and has been recorded as the country's 81st murder victim for the year. An intense investigation into this matter continues. Police are investigating another attempted suicide. According to reports, police were alerted around 9:30 yesterday morning that a 35-year-old woman ingested a large quantity of over-the-counter pills while in her vehicle at a beach on West Bay Street near Skyline Drive. A family member later found her and took her to the hospital for further medical care and evaluation. National security officials strengthening its social outreach programs to deter youth from crime. The Connect 4 Summer Youth Camp is an initiative exposing youth to creative arts, culture, music, and positive alternatives. Project manager for community engagement is Reuben Mounts Jr.
He means that it's not about him, it's not about me, it's about us. And so let us all work together to reclaim this country and make sure that these young people, 50 years from now, are far, far better off than we are today.
It's very overwhelming and exciting. I'm excited to embrace my platform, which is breaking the silence of mental awareness. I'm basically spreading the word to a lot of young girls in this generation.
My program is about dancing and having fun with elders, special needs, and children around the world. What my platform basically does is uplift people's spirits, and if they're having a bad day, it would lighten up their mood.
The young participants got the chance to showcase the skills they learned from the 4-week program to a grand audience at the Fox Hill Community Center on Thursday evening. Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, making a strong appeal to parents in the community, while program participants boast that the experience was all worthwhile.
We really targeted individuals and communities where maybe kids weren't exposed so much to some of the arts, some of the performances, beating of the drums, STEM. They created STEM projects from scratch. So that was fun. The kids loved it. They enjoyed it. And I think a lot of the kids are having appreciation because now it's somebody cares, and it also gets them out of the house. It gets them something to do, organizes their time productively when they could have been doing other things that might not have been so productive.
As we enter the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, the country is taking significant steps to strengthen its disaster preparedness measures. Spearheading these efforts is the Disaster Risk Management Authority. The DRMA has been implementing a range of measures from community outreach to enhancing response capabilities across the islands.
That required us to review their plans. We visited we're on the first stop of our countrywide tour to review all shelters, see where there are challenges, be able to identify those challenges. And so whenever there's a natural hazard, we know, well, shelter A cannot withstand a Category 3, so we know whether or not we need to evacuate. One of the biggest challenges that we're faced with is communication, and we're seeking to address some of those through the use of technology, Starlink, satellite phones, and that's something that we're strengthening.
Managing Director Aaron Sargent outlined the organization's plan to the Rotary Club of East Nassau's weekly meeting this afternoon. He emphasized the importance of personal preparedness, urging residents to have a plan.
We are encouraging residents of the Bahamas to not only wait until there's an imminent threat, but to prepare today as much as possible. This would allow you to have a stronger chance to be resilient and recover faster, because it's not a matter of when it's not a matter of if, it's when it's going to happen.
Stay close, there's more news right after this. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
Fuel the difference. Ruby's Ultra Tech in your car. Fill up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Spend less and go far. Fuel up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Get the most out every ride. Just watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel up with confidence in every mile. Get Ruby's Ultra Tech in your tank and drive with a smile. Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel the difference with Ruby's Ultra Tech.
8 months into the year, and the great savings continue at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.15. Country Barn mayonnaise, 30 ounce, $3.69. Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounce, $1.69. Boneless chicken breasts, $3.39 per pound. Panama raw shrimp, $31.40, 1 pound, $6.99. August is an awesome month to save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Hey, Mom, can you look after Kaylee?
Sorry, I'll be out for a while dealing with my home and car insurance.
What? You know there's a newer way, right?
A new way?
Where have you been? Look, go to newerinsurance.com, log in, get your quote, buy your insurance, done. You can even use it to manage a claim.
Oh? By the way, it's not newer. It's N-U-A. Where's she been?
Do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers.
Sandals at Emerald Bay Exuma temporarily closed today. The property will undergo $100 million in renovations as it converts to a beach's property. Sandals officials are targeting a completion timeline of between 12 to 15 months. Member of Parliament for Exuma, Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, confirming in a recent statement that the construction phase is projected to generate 400 jobs, as well as produce other opportunities for local contractors and other businesses on the island. Once completed, Beaches Exuma will employ more than 850 people and significantly boost local employment and family-focused entrepreneurial opportunities. Demolition exercises of unregulated communities here in the capital and over on the island of Eleuthera will continue over the next few weeks. Minister of Family Island Affairs, the Honourable Clay Sweeting, gave ZNS News an update on the task force's progress.
We just served notices on T-Wash last week, which is another unregulated community. So we're still being very aggressive with that. We have the task force still working. We have to go back to Eleuthera to deal with some shanty towns there that was not completed on the first phase. So we'll go there, finish that, do T-Wash, and then we'll continue to move throughout New Providence and the Family Islands with these communities.
And it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, LaDawn. Hurricane Ernesto, well, it's fastly approaching Bermuda, and those dangerous swells associated with it have began to affect the Atlantic-exposed islands of the Bahamas. But right now, outside of our studios, we're under partly cloudy skies, temperature at 83 degrees. The relative humidity is 72%. We have east-northeast winds at 6 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,013.3 millibars. That is 29.92 inches. And your temperatures around the islands this evening: Marshall, Abaco at 85, 87 in Green, Tulkey, also Freeport at 87 degrees, the Berry Islands 85, Alistown, Bimini 84 degrees, 85 in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera 84, Fresh Creek and Central Andros at 81 degrees. We pick up 82s in Kemp Space on Andros and Black Point, Exuma, Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key 85, 82 degrees in Georgetown, Exuma, 88 in Ragged Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, McGuana, and Acklands, Matthewtown at 87, and the Turks and Caicos Islands also reporting 87 degrees. And the boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where you're always protected from the worst storms. In the northwestern islands tonight through Saturday, northeast winds at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet with some moderate swells developing. Low tide will occur at 12:28, and your high tide at 11 tomorrow morning. And for the central and southeastern islands, also tonight through Saturday, the wind's going to be light and variable, but despite that, we're going to have some large swells, as we said earlier, particularly those islands that are exposed to the Atlantic Ocean. So small craft exercise extreme caution. And then on Sunday, for all areas, the light and variable winds will continue with dangerous swells. 7:05 will be a high tide and the low tide at 1:12 in the afternoon. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by All Star Assurance.
I saw you with your boyfriend just the other night. He had you snatched up, y'all really, really tight. I'm not that kind of fella who like OPP, but I must admit, y'all, I feel a little jealousy. Every time I see ya, I break the golden rule. I had a crush on you, girl, from we was in high school. But homeboy beat me to the deal because I never told ya. Now he plan to take you down the aisle to have and hold ya. But oh, girl, if I had you, the things that we could do, girl.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by All Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, follow us at ZNS Digital on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or X. subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit us on our website at znsbahamas.com.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Before teens get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
During the calm before the storm.
Life-threatening storm surge and winds in the northwestern Bahamas.
2019, Freeport Grand Bahama, praying for the best.
And in the wake of the devastation. We've hosted countless shows. We've interviewed numerous individuals. We've covered every angle and shared everyone's stories.
The whole roof came off.
Now, 5 years after Hurricane Dorian, we are telling our story.
We need to move now. Let's go now.
You can see we make it out of the hurricane.
I wasn't imagining this.
I was scared. I didn't know if I was staying or coming and trying.
This was a storm like no other.
Join us for a Hurricane Dorian special as we take you into the eye of the newsroom. See what we endured behind the scenes during our relentless 72-hour live coverage from before and after the deadliest storm in our nation's history.
Outside is actually flooded.
This is more than a documentary. It's our journey, a testament to our dedication and our commitment to you. Airing September 1st on the only station that kept you informed during the worst storm in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is the eye of the newsroom.
We have more than anyone else. We are the most. We are news leaders, and credibility is the order of the day.
Why don't you come to the most? Only the Sun can cover you better than our new digital product with exclusive stories and entertaining content.
We are the most. Community TV page and radio community announcements. The most viewers and listeners in the country.
We have the most years of Bahama history recorded. There's no archive like ours.
I came back home to bring you even more news and local programming. We're simply the most, the news at an S.
Hey everyone, it's your boy Vontae, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop.
2 minutes to airtime. I came back home to make sure you have the most in news and entertainment. We're simply the most.
And I came back home to make sure that you have the most in information, education, entertainment, and inspiration. We're simply the most. The news at an S, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your TGIF Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports and cricket news. A Bahamian player making history, becoming the first to be drafted to a Max 60 Caribbean cricket tournament. Our intern, Swanson Gibson, tells us more in this report.
The Max 60 Caribbean Cricket Tournament is just a few days away. Heading over to the Cayman Islands to participate is 20-year veteran Mark Taylor. Taylor summarized the nature of the tournament and being the first Bahamian to be drafted.
Okay, so basically it's a tournament where players from all around the world come together. They have different teams, franchise teams. It's normal team structure, team owners, coaches, managers, doctors, and you just drafted into a league that's it's going to be televised, and it's just basically it's a short version of the game that people could kind of relate to, because cricket has some longer versions, but this one is kind of short, quick. straight to the point. So it's getting popular around the world. Well, obviously it means a lot to me, it being the first time, the first Bahamian to be drafted. It's not the first time I entered into a tournament or into the draft for a tournament, but it's the first time I was selected. So it's a big deal for me. I just trying to make sure I go over there and do my thing. Hopefully I could be called in the future for future tournaments.
Accompanying Taylor is umpire Narendra Akanayaka. He shares his perspective.
Definitely, I'm so happy for him. You know, he should have been in the, drafted before. You know, the thing is, you know, we unfortunate here with the less opportunities, but I'm so happy for him that he finally got that breakthrough. Dream come true for me because, you know, I was looking forward to this opportunity. You know, this is the first time for me in this like international standard. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the experience and the exposure, and especially, you know, the experience that I can, you know, bring back to the Bahamas, and, you know, and the umpires who doing the umpire's job here, and, you know, coach them and teach them in the future.
Taylor suits up for the Miami Lions as the week-long tournament begins this Sunday. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
Team Bahamas hitting the pool over in St. Lucia for the 2024 Goodwill Games. His action getting underway earlier today. ZNS Total Sports team was able to catch up with head coach Dwayne Davis Jr. just ahead of competition as the 2-4-2 aims for the two-peat.
The team has settled in well. That's why it was important for us to get in 2 days ahead so they could get, you know, comfortable in their new environment. And then also get used to the pool that they're going to be racing in, because we usually in Bahamas, well, you know, our competition is a 50-meter pool. So it was important for us to get in so we get into the race pool, which is a 25-meter pool, and so they could, you know, work on their starts, their turns, their finishes, and, you know, the little detailed stuff to gain and win this championship. That's the overall expectation. I think we look good on paper, so we just need to go and perform as a team. And when we talk again, I feel I'll be here talking as a two-time defending champions with Team Bahamas.
The Bahamas Basketball Federation Summer of Thunder Series wrapping up yesterday over the Kendall Julazic Gymnasium. The showcase has become a staple in the local summer sports scene, and for first Vice President of the BBF, Moses Johnson, he deems this year's event a success.
I think it has been a tremendous success. This year has been great. We've seen some good games, seen some lopsided games, but most of all, we've been competitive. And I think it bodes well for the local players as well as those who have come in for the summer to get active and get games under their belt so that they can keep active during the summer months. And this is what it's all about, and we're hoping that we can continue this trend as we wind down today. But moving on to the future, we hope that we could have these successes where we have these teams come down and then we put together these teams that can compete. And most of all, it's just for us to go out here and compete and show what our local talent is all about.
And the University of the Bahamas men's soccer team is set to open the team's international season in Naples, Florida this weekend. The team's set to take on Ave Maria University, and then it will take on United International on Sunday. The Umango soccer team hitting the field for a light workout just ahead of the competition. The team is made up of both strong players and some national team talent. They're ready to kick off the season with a win. About 70% of last season's team returns with some great additions. Umango's captain Marlon Barnes says the team is stoked for the competition.
Well, right now our strength is mainly in the midfield, and of course we're very strong in defense. I'll say our strength is everywhere actually. It's just on the day we just gotta execute what was instructed by our coach. Well, we're very optimistic. I believe that we were properly trained and we have a game plan that we're willing to go out there and execute. And by the grace of God, we're going to bring home the result we need.
And that's when we look at your sports on this Friday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
During the calm before the storm.
Life-threatening storm surge and winds in the northwestern Bahamas.
2019, report Grand Bahama. Praying for the best.
And in the wake of the devastation. We've hosted countless shows. We've interviewed numerous individuals. We've covered every angle and shared everyone's stories.
The whole roof came off.
Now, 5 years after Hurricane Dorian, we are telling our story.
We need to move now. Let's go now.
You can see we make it out of the hurricane.
I wasn't imagining this.
I was scared. I didn't know if I was scared or coming crying.
This was a storm like no other.
Join us for a Hurricane Dorian special as we take you into the eye of the newsroom. See what we endured behind the scenes during our relentless 72-hour live coverage from before and after the deadliest storm in our nation's history.
Outside is actually flooded.
This is more than a documentary. It's our journey, a testament to our dedication and our commitment to you. Airing September 1st on the only station that kept you informed during the worst storm in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is the eye of the newsroom.
With our adoption by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
We figured that we could use the First Bahamas branch of Toastmasters Club 1600, an all-male club that specializes and focuses on developing young men for leadership through communication.
This program has grown and has impacted our school in such a positive way that I don't think we'll ever have them leave us.
Too often, instead of us looking within, we look outside for someone to blame. Go take a look in the mirror. Instead of trying to identify what the problems are, let's try and figure out how we become a part of the solution.
We are teaching these children how to dream beyond their community.
Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
Your one-stop shop for all things news and entertainment.
Bringing you exclusive content from unique talents you can't find anywhere else.
Keeping you updated with the top stories from across the nation.
And entertained with a variety of engaging content.
All in one place.
With one click.
You mean I can get all this in the palm of my hand?
Yes.
On all my favorite devices? Yes.
And with unlimited access to all types of different content.
You won't need to look anywhere else.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital.
ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
The thought of colon cancer never really crossed my mind until 2019, when a very good friend of mine was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. I was shocked. Everybody was shocked because he was a picture of perfect health. He was young, athletic, successful, and full of life. Many of us are still in disbelief. I started to question my own health because if it happened to him, surely it could happen to me. Then came the fear, the anxiety, and everything else in between. Facing your own mortality is very sobering. But for me, I decided right then to have a colonoscopy. And I'm glad I did.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer diagnosed in Bahamian men and women. Fortunately, almost all colon cancers are preventable. A colonoscopy or some other appropriate form of colon cancer screening is recommended for everyone over the age of 45. During a colonoscopy, we can detect and remove colon polyps that may grow and later become colon cancers. Don't wait until you develop symptoms, such as blood in your stool, abdominal pain, a significant change in your bowel habits, or unintentional weight loss. These may all be indications of a severe problem that requires immediate attention. If you're over the age of 45 or have any of those symptoms, talk to your doctor about the benefits of colon cancer screening today.
I don't know, but what kind of cars is
Are you serious, man?
You ain't even know where to park? Yeah, just don't park in the this way. Like you ain't get nowhere to go. Don't park him. Just don't park in the handicap spot.
Yeah, that's handicap.
No, man, you can't park in the handicap spot.
I can be that long. I can be that long.
Handicap spot,
Boy, what's going on, dog?
I tell you we shouldn't park here now. This way park here.
I tell you we shouldn't park here. Don't get one of these things.
My bar big broke, and he got a sticker inside. This ain't this mud though. We gotta move. This is a handicap spot. But we gotta move. We can move right now. Sorry.
Be considerate. Don't use disabled parking spaces without a decal in your vehicle. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather at 5 o'clock this afternoon, Hurricane Ernesto was some 125 miles to the south-southwest of Bermuda. It's packing winds of 100 miles per hour, moving towards the northeast at some 14 miles per hour, but we expect some weakening to take place later on during the night as it continues on that northeast track. And once again, heavy swells generated by Ernesto will continue to impact the more easterly islands of the Bahamas during the weekend. That things will not light up until we get into about Monday or Tuesday of next week. And our satellite picture showing a little frontal trough now across the northwest Bahamas, and that's providing pockets of showers and thunderstorms, particularly in the vicinity of Andros and just to the south of the capital as well. And our forecast for tonight, we're looking at breezy conditions, otherwise mostly clear and warm later on tonight with a low temperature of 81 degrees. And tomorrow, things will shape up like this, mostly sunny and very beautiful with a high temperature of 88 degrees. Your extended weather forecast, we'll get some showers back into forecast on Sunday and Monday as that frontal trough once again start to back up over the northwestern parts of the country. And then as we head into Wednesday, middle of the week, we get some scattered thunderstorms developing as well. But the cloud cover will keep those temperatures just below the 90-degree mark right into Tuesday of next week. But by the middle of the week, we'll once again see those summer 91 type temperatures. LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Basil. And before we end tonight, we're back on Bay Street to give you a preview of the final night of the Ministry of Tourism's annual Goombay Summer Festival. The much-anticipated event has been a hit for residents and visitors alike. Our Desmond Saunders joins us live with the details. Desmond, it looks like you're having a whole lot of fun.
Well, Adon, this is the final night of Goombay Summer Festival in New Providence. The festival will continue in other islands for the rest and for the month of August. And you can tell things are heating up here in Rawson Square. We've got a number of bands that are going to be present. We're going to have Junkanoo. Goombay Summer Festival epitomizes all that is Bahamian: food, culture, people, and you're going to see it evidence here this evening. Goombay Summer Festival, New Providence, final night here at Rawson Square. And for those families, you want to get down here and experience the culture and the Bahamian culture. That's so important. Nikki Simmons, who's the coordinator of this festival, joining me on the broadcast this evening. So far, so good. This has been able to help a number of local entrepreneurs, local artisans being showcased. So it's all Bahamian.
It's all Bahamian. And Desmond, I want to welcome you out here again. This is our third and final week here in Nassau, but the show does not end here. If you can make it tomorrow, you can go to Long Island. And the following week, you can go to Eleuthera in Savannah Sound. But get this, we have a fabulous show lined up in Inagua. August 30th, we're going to be in Matthewtown, Inagua, bringing Goombay.
Right. Yeah. And so fascinating how this festival has grown over the years. You've been able to even attract travelers, travel journalists. You've been able to attract a number of tourists near and far. So let's talk about the impact you're making overseas.
Well, I can honestly say, I think that everybody knows about the Bahamas, but everybody wants to come and experience what we have to offer. Of course, our culture, the people. Last week we did interviews with, as far as Kenya, and they spoke about what this means for our economy, for the people, and they said that they would be back again. So we want to encourage everybody to continue to come out and really see who we are. Yeah.
Nikki Simmons, who's coordinator, doing a great job, magnificent job. And so, I don't know, LaDawn, I don't know if you can feel the fever and the electricity here, Rawson Square. Goombay Summer Festival, final night, fantastic. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Desmond. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. The National Report from all of us here at ZNS. I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great evening, everyone.